All right. So you want to get into like game of the year? You want to kind of build up to it? You want?
Let's build up to it.
Okay. So let's see. Let me show you here. So this is from the Game Awards website right here. Very nice. I got it all laid out, all the categories. Best esports team. No offense to the esports. I don't care about that one. Best esports athlete. Again, no offense to the athletes. Esport athlete there, but not talking about that. Esports game. No, no, not content creator of the year.
Nope.
Most anticipated game. So click on it. Yep, I'll go with this one here.
Sure, why not? I
So most,
uh, I still don't know that it being most anticipated is necessarily deserving of an award, but at least it's about stuff that games that I'm interested in.
yeah. So this is pretty expected there. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I didn't know its subtitle. I didn't know on the beach was its subtitle there.
I'd explain why, but it would take like 3 hours.
Okay. Ghost of Yote. Obviously that one makes sense. Grand Theft Auto 6 makes sense. Probably Grand Theft Auto is gonna win. I think that's
I
clear.
think so.
That's
Yeah.
clearly gonna win there. Metro Prime 4 Beyond. That's also that one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
Isn't the
Metroid
room?
Prime 3 came out in 2007. So,
Yeah. Isn't that the one people are speculating like that game is gonna be the big game for the Nintendo Switch 2, like they're gonna announce?
yeah, because they showed that announcement trailer during that Nintendo Switch showcase or Nintendo Direct a little while back, and it just had a level of graphical fidelity that looked beyond what the Switch is capable of. It just right away, it looked higher than anything I really could have seen running on that system. So it felt like it was a hint at the next one.
Yeah. And then Monster Hunter Wilds. That's up there. Do you vote in any of these things or?
I skipped like the esports ones, but I actually did go vote for a bunch of them. Yeah,
Okay. Well, actually, let me go vote. Let me sign in real quick. Let me sign in, and then you can sign in with your Twitch or anything. Let me do that since I'm
yeah.
already on.
Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. We could use like any of those accounts.
Yeah. So okay, I'm on my Twitch account, so I'll go ahead and vote. Be an active voter there. Do that.
There
You
you
know, that's the problem with this past election. People didn't go out. People didn't go vote, man. You know. Yeah. So this is what the elections are gonna look like in 2030, 2040 right here. It's gonna just line up. Can you just click the button right there instead of going to the polls and everything like that? That's what's gonna kind of
There
look
you go.
like. Yeah, most anticipated president. Yeah, there you go. Um, so yeah, which one did you vote for?
I voted for Ghost of Yote. Ghost of Tsushima is just such one of my favorite all time favorites. I platinumed that game, and I don't do that with very many games in general. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to every single one of these, except for Monster Hunter. That's just a franchise I've never gotten into, but you have four really good choices here. So.
All right, I'll be a basic bitch. I'll go with Grand Theft Auto 6 here. I'll go with that
I mean, it's what's gonna win. It's 100% gonna be what's gonna win.
one. It says share my vote here. Okay, I'll just click out here. So yeah, so that's what we got. All right, let's go
There you go.
to view all categories right here. So best adaptation. You got Arcane. You got which Arcane I think is probably going to win at all these. I think.
I I I mean, I would think so, but I mean, as much as what I thought about it, and Ulysses in the chat can attest to it, people really liked that Fallout show.
Yeah.
People really, really, really liked that Fallout show. So I
Uh,
don't know.
sh-
I could see that one taken.
yeah, it's between these two probably. It's between these two. Ella Purnell, shout out to her. She's in both things nominated, so shout out to
That's
her.
true. I think
So
she's much better in Arcane.
yeah. Knuckles. I meant to review this. I still haven't done that. I meant to do it, but it just got away from me. I said Ulysses. I'd rather see Knuckles win over Fallout. Um, maybe I'll review it. Maybe. I just haven't had the time. This is out. We could talk about this when maybe next week. Review this.
I haven't touched it yet, but I could try and watch it.
Yeah, so there's that. We did review this though. We did review Tomb
Yeah.
Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft.
I like
Um,
that better than Fallout.
damn, you like this better than Fallout? Damn.
I mean, I hated Fallout. I thought Fallout was like legitimately very bad.
Okay. I'm not gonna vote in this category because I've only seen 2 of these things. Well, actually 3 of these things. So I haven't seen so I'm gonna wait until I see these other 2 before I make that vote there. Be a responsible voter there. I'm gonna do that.
I'll say I'm not sure if it's based on season 2 of Arcane. I'm not sure it should be up there since the whole season's not out yet. I don't know if it's since it's incomplete. I don't know if that's fair to put it on there.
Yeah. Because when is the Game Awards? Is it, uh,
I believe it's
December or
like
something?
yeah, December 10th or 12th or something like that.
When does the whole season of, Arcane come out? December
I do
12th
think
is
it'll be yeah, I think it'll be over before that.
so, yeah. Yeah, unless people are just voting based on just the first season and go like, "Yeah, fuck it." I know the second season's gonna be great, so people just voting
Right.
based on that. But yes,
Uh,
I'm gonna wait.
Assuming season 2 of shows I've been into will be great has bitten me in the ass several times throughout my life. So don't be too sure, people.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and wait until I see all of these before I make a vote there on that one. Best multiplayer. I don't really play multiplayer like that. I know you don't really in that.
Yeah,
Um,
not really.
yeah, I don't really play multiplayer there. It's got some good choices here. These are all pretty big. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2.
I do
Mm.
plan on playing Warhammer. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
If you had to guess which one you think, I think maybe either Call of Duty or Warhammer. Maybe.
I could see either, but I could also see Helldivers. I mean, that was, say what you will that it fell off after, 4 or 5 months. But it still was like a breakout, just came out of nowhere success for 4 or 5 months out of the year. So I don't know. I could see any of those three winning that one.
Yeah, it's between these three. I could see Helldivers being the underdog and taking it from the two big established franchises. I could say that. Yeah, I could see that for that. There's best sports racing there. There's F1
I'm completely useless on this one.
Yeah, there's that one. There's WWE 2K24. There's Top Spin 2K25. Of course, NBA 2K25. Uh, I'm gonna guess. I don't know. I'm gonna say probably it's probably gonna be football. It's probably gonna be this one. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out. I don't know. Soccer's pretty huge. Football's pretty huge.
True.
Maybe on that one.
Yeah, I'll say soccer too. It's a complete shot in the dark for me because I am just it is one thing I am just not tapped into.
There's best sim strategy. We'll skip over that one.
I got no knowledge on those.
Best family. Skip over that one.
What is in that one? Just out of curiosity.
So you got
Oh,
Astrobot. You got
Astrobot.
Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, The Plucky Squire.
It's gonna be Astrobot or Zelda.
Mm, yeah, probably. I've heard great things about the Super Mario Party Jamboree, I think.
I have heard people enjoy it. I've never been a Mario Party fan personally, but it's popular with people for sure.
Best Fighting. This will probably be, I don't know. What do you think?
Tekken.
Tekken?
I think Tekken. I think Tekken clears it easy. Like, look, the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I think is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Gave it a pretty solid score on the review that we did recently. But I don't think it has the mass appeal. Like, it's appealing to fans of Dragon Ball, or at least fans of Dragon Ball games. Whereas I think Tekken just has a much greater like fighting game fan base, and I think it's also just have more lasting power. Like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is even by now, I think there's probably not that many people playing it anymore. Tekken 8 came out in January, and it's still got a lot of people playing it. It's a tournament fighting game, right? It's like that's at like Evo, so I think that one takes it easy.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't see this one maybe sneaking? Maybe people like the nostalgia may get people, or
Maybe, but you know what? I'm also going to pick a bone with that one. I don't think that one should be allowed because it's just a collection of 30-year-old games.
yeah. I guess they were
I don't
just
think
like,
that
well,
should
we
be
got to
allowed on there.
Yeah, fill the category with something there. Fill it out, get
I
ahead
guess
of
so.
there. So got that, and then Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. Multiverses is on here. So
That definitely does not deserve it.
yeah.
not, not with all the microtransactions.
Let's see, best RPG. You got that
Oh, I
one.
played it. I played some of those.
You got Dragon's Dogma
Okay, I played
2,
one of them.
Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Metaphor Refantizo.
So the only one I've played is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth out of these. Like that we've talked about before. I haven't really gotten into the Yakuza franchise. Elden Ring Shadow. I will play that. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I mean, we'll just get it out of the way now. I don't think a DLC should be eligible for a category like that because it's not a new game. It's not its own standalone game, but it's nominated for quite a few things. So I'm just getting that off my chest now, so people don't have to hear me say it over and over again. Um, and then I know it's so popular, but I'm gonna be the odd one out, and I really just don't see what the all the big hype is about the Metaphor Refantasio game. I don't get it.
Oh shit! I accidentally voted for this. Oh shit! My bad. I was trying to click on to enlarge it. I was, oh shit! I voted for this. My bad. Yeah. So you think Final Fantasy is probably gonna win?
I say it's between realistically, it could be Final Fantasy, the Elden Ring DLC, or it could be Metaphor Refantasio. All three of those have been massive successes.
Let's see. We got Best Action Adventure here. Astrobot, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Um, the Silent Hill 2, I guess that counts as action adventure, I guess.
That's another one I thought was kind of weird. I don't really feel like it fits into that category personally, but
Because
I
I guess they don't
guess.
have a horror category, I guess.
Yeah, they don't have a horror category exactly, but Silent Hill 2 is nominated in a few other spots that make a lot more sense. Yeah, I don't really feel like it belongs in this category personally, but
Then you got Star Wars Outlaws, then you got The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. You thinking Astrobot?
uh Astrobot could take it. I Zelda could take it. I'd say probably between those two.
Okay.
Prince of Persia was I haven't played it yet. I've heard really great things, but it also didn't sell very well, so we'll see.
Ooh, you also got Best Action Game. So you got Black Myth Wukong, you got Call of Duty Black Ops 6, you got Helldivers 2, you got Gunnar Gate Stellar Blade right here. Yeah, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. I'm thinking probably
I
Black Myth Wukong is probably gonna.
That's what I'd vote for. That's what I did vote for. Yeah, I think that's an easy clear for me. I mean, I haven't played Warhammer yet, even though I intend to. That's the only thing that could be competitive on like a personal level for me. But uh, I'd be shocked if I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed Black Myth Wukong.
What do you think has the second best chance of winning? You think maybe Stellar Blade? You think Helldivers?
Um, I'd say Helldivers, honestly. Again, just because it was such a breakout success.
Mm, okay. So we got best VR. I don't probably skip that one. Best mobile, skip that one there. Best
Damn straight.
debut indie game. Let's get into that one.
Yeah,
Animal Well, Balatro, Manor
that's the
Lords.
mobile game that's on a few spots.
Yeah.
And I don't really know much about it, to be honest. I've heard people talking about it like all year, but I don't really know what it is.
Okay. Pacific Drive and Plucky Squire. So I guess
Now, I
since this
haven't
is
actually played
nominated
any of
for Game of the Year, I guess this is gonna win. I guess and
this.
some other. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what this game
Yeah,
is personally, but
I'm really not. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, but I don't really have a good idea of what it actually is.
uh, okay. So then you got best independent game. So what's the difference between indie game and then the independent game?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't
Okay.
know what the difference in that category is. Although personally, I'd vote for. Okay. So best debut indie game is it's the first game from that studio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Best
yeah.
independent game is it could be their fifth game as long as it's indie. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the difference is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Personally, I vote for Neva. Um, I actually just finished that. It's another game we could do a review for in the near future. That just came out recently. Really, visually striking thing.
Okay. Ooh, let's see. And then UFO 50.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's the difference between the two. Yeah. Obviously, the best debut. Yeah. Okay. Best community support. Probably Helldivers, right? Probably it's probably gonna be Helldivers.
Maybe.
Or that,
Um,
or Baldur's Gate 3, maybe.
well, there's a lot of mods for Baldur's Gate 3. So there's like a huge modding community. So that I could see it winning for that reason.
Yeah. Well, Fortnite is also up there. Fortnite.
Oh, well, I could see that could also win.
I know people still fuck with No Man's Sky like that. People still do No Man's Sky. People still.
Oh man, like I've never actually played that game personally, but I know from listening to video game podcasts that because do you remember that game was like super disappointing to a lot of people when it first came
Yeah.
out? It didn't have nearly as much of what it promised. Well, 10 years later now, or 11 or 12 years, I forget exactly what year it came out. Um, but they have basically like added like 10 more games worth of stuff to the point that now it actually is everything they said it would be when it was first coming out. And then
Okay.
like a ton more stuff on top of it. Like it's actually ridiculous. And every single update has been free that entire time. They've never released like a paid expansion. They just keep adding these just massive things to it. Um, yeah, it's not for me still, but it is if you're looking for like an immersive simulator type thing, that's gonna be one of the best ones.
Okay. Ooh, best ongoing. Let's see here. You got Destiny 2, you got Diablo 4, you got Final Fantasy, you got Fortnite, you got Helldivers 2.
That's
Uh,
probably I bet Final Fantasy 14 wins that one.
okay. Uh, yeah.
It's like the second most popular MMO after World of Warcraft. So
Hmm, okay. Games for impact, for thought provoking with a pro social meaning or message.
I
You
voted for Tales of Kazar's for this one.
okay? You got that one there, and you did review this one, Indica,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
for the channel,
yep.
and then
And
also it
then
has the other
there's Neva again.
Neva there, uh, and this one. I think this one was super disappointing, right? This game.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see that that's nominated in a few places. And yeah, for a while at least it did. I think World of Warcraft bounced back a little bit, but there like 6 years ago or so, there was like a mass migration over to Final Fantasy 14. But I do think they've kind of brought people back a little bit though. Um, yeah. I mean, I would have given Tales of Kazar the one of the slots for the Game of the Year nomination instead of the Elden Ring DLC, but that's just me.
Yeah, you also got Closer, The Distance there. Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Sinews, Saga, Hellblade 2. Yeah. So you think at all these, what do you think is kind of winning? Maybe you think it is going to be Tales of Kinzera?
Um, I it could be. I could also see Neva winning just because that's they did a game called Gree a number of years ago that was like a pretty popular indie game. There might be like people go. There's a decent chance that people are going to go like, oh, I've seen stuff the studio's done before. Their last game was great, and then it might just have a slightly more attention on it for that reason. But I think it's between that and Tales of Kazura's.
Okay.
But then again, I guess Hellblade is maybe the most mainstream out of all the stuff on this list. So maybe that could maybe take it as well. And as disappointing as a lot of people said it was, it's also just more people have probably heard of it too.
Okay. Yeah, because yeah, I know the social message of this game, and then this game tells it because there's Zao, and then Indica was about like the Russian, like
Yeah, it was like Russian Orthodox nunneries in the like 1800s. But then it was also like a David Lynch surrealist comedy. That game was weird, man.
yeah, and because I think if you would bought the game, part of like you could like part of the funds went to like a charity, right?
Yeah, it was for children in Ukraine that were
Oh
going
yeah,
hungry.
yeah. So yeah, that. Let's see, innovation in accessibility. You got that. Recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Okay.
I haven't played any of these ones, but the only one that I am interested in playing is Prince of Persia.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what exactly Prince of Persia did that's innovation or innovative in a way, but
I'm not totally sure either, but when they have stuff like that on there, it's usually like, you know, uh, visual settings for colorblind or like people that have like really bad vision so they can kind of see the image better or subtitle like more advanced like subtitle stuff. I mean, it could be a lot of small things.
okay.
It could even be like settings for people who are like colorblind. Maybe control scheme options if you have like some issue with dexterity or something. It could really mean a lot of things.
Yeah. Call of Duty hypnotizing people to buy the same game again 6 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, mind control in there. Okay.
uh,
Uh, let's see.
Pinnacle of MK Ultra.
Best performance there. So you got Brianna White, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
I
You
believe
got
she was the voice of Aerith.
let's check to see.
I'm not
Uh
100% sure on that, but I thought she was Aerith. I could be wrong. Maybe she's Tifa though.
let's see. Let's see. Bet your life on it right now. But, entire life there.
Flip
Yeah,
the coin
she
like Two-Face.
Aerith, yeah.
Okay, she was Aerith.
Yep. Then Hana Tail from Life is Strange. You got Humberly Gonzalez from Star Wars Outlaws. You got Luke Roberts, who's your pick probably, right, for Silent Hill 2.
100% who I voted for.
And you got Melina Jurgens for Sinuous Saga Hellblade 2. Are you
And
disappointed
she,
Angela's not?
oh, sorry.
Are you
Yeah,
disappointed the
I
actress?
am kind of. I am
Yeah.
actually. Although she is a supporting character, and well, like Aerith is a supporting character though, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, I am. I'm disappointed Angela doesn't have a spot on here. She's a really, really deeply thoughtful performance. But it also, if you're only going to do one from Silent Hill 2, I do think it makes sense for it to be James. You spend by far the most time with him, and there's the most. I see the most subtlety just because he has the most scenes. So I think if I had to pick between them, I still would give it to him. But
Mhm. Any person you think got snubbed? Any person you replaced here?
um, I can't think of any like anyone major that I think like oh really deserved it over this. Yeah, no, not that I could think of.
Hmm.
Maybe Abu Bakar Salim for Zhao. That was really emotionally like genuine performance that was in that game. So I actually think you know what? Yeah, that's my pick for someone that should have gotten it but didn't.
What about the actress from the Lake House? What about her?
Oh, she was great. But it's DLC, not a full game, so
Mm,
I wouldn't count it personally. She was in the main game last year, so but yeah.
okay. All right. Let's see. Best audio design. You want to check that one out, or
Yeah, I voted in that one.
okay? So you got Astrobot,
Uh,
you got Call of Duty Black Ops 6, you got Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, you got Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and you got Silent Hill 2, and you voted for Silent Hill 2.
I voted for Silent Hill 2. I mean, I think it's both the original and then now the remake have like maybe my favorite soundtrack in like all of video games, honestly. But I've also heard a lot of the music from Astrobot, and it is excellent. There's a reason people are calling it PlayStation's Mario 64 because it is so well put together. Final Fantasy VII also had amazing music. I would not be upset if that won because it does have an incredible score. And then even Hellblade, honestly, one of the only things about that game that I heard was not disappointing was the audio design. So,
Yeah. I feel like in a horror game, audio really is important there. Silent Hill
oh
2.
yeah,
And then yeah, Final Fantasy. Probably between what Final Fantasy, Silent Hill, and Astrobot.
yeah, between those three for sure.
All right. Best score in music. You got Stellar Blade, you got Silent Hill 2, you got Metaphor, Refantazo, and you got Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and Astrobot. And yeah.
Personally, I go with Silent Hill again on this one. If you're separating audio design as in like in-game audio and kind of the atmosphere, creature sounds, that all that stuff, that's audio design. But like I just said, I really do think it's like some of the greatest music I've ever produced in a video game is Silent Hill 2. I'd do that over, the last 5 years of games, probably.
Okay. I haven't heard Stellar Blade's music there.
I heard a
Or
little in the demo, and it was fine, but it's kind of sounded like similar to music I've heard that I thought was better in like Near Automata.
okay. I've heard Final Fantasy's pretty good. Final Fantasy has a pretty good score.
Yeah, it's got an amazing score. I wouldn't be upset if it won at all.
Yeah. Best art direction. So you got Astrobot, you got Black Myth Wukong, you got Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree, Metaphor, Neva there. Alright.
I voted for Black Myth Wukong. I like I said in the review that I did a while back, I think it's got some of the greatest visuals in the game, or that art direction that goes behind it. It just looks so unlike anything else you see in the video game industry doing Chinese mythology. Just it's such a unique look. Um, you know, Yet again, Elden Ring, I'd say shouldn't have it because it's not a full-fledged game. But Elden Ring does have incredible art direction nonetheless. So I mean, it'd be hard to be mad if like regular Elden Ring won that award. But yeah, and then Neva does have very impressive art direction. It's got this kind of watercolor 2D art style to it. It's uh, it's also got some very obvious Studio Ghibli inspiration for its visuals. Lots of like spirit, kind of forest spirit animal stuff, and um, just a lot of really good visual aesthetic to it.
Hmm.
If you with the cursor, I saw there's a bit where it was like really deeply red in there.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a boss fight. That
okay.
looks just really cool.
That does look really nice. Yeah. Damn, that does look really good. And yeah, the animation, the art direction here is really good too. Yeah,
Yeah, I just finished that, so we could do a review for that game in the near future as well.
yeah. If you want to review any of these nominees, you can do so. Yeah,
Absolutely.
since they're out there. Let me go back here. Probably Black Myth, I think, who has a good chance of winning because of, like you said, with the Chinese mythology, everything like that, and some good creatures. There in Black Myth. There, no women,
So
but
unique.
good creatures.
I counted 9.
Uh, um, so best narrative. You got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You got Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. You get Metaphor. You get Suina Saga, Silent Hill 2.
I voted for Silent Hill 2 on this one. Some people might argue with that because it's a remake, so it is a narrative that does exist prior to this game. But I really think that I think it bared the burden of having to reinterpret that narrative and frame it differently, present it differently, write different. God damn it, with the spider bother me on my own channel with the Spider Women constantly. They got to come do it everywhere else too. um, but no, I mean I really think that the Silent Hill 2 remake had this very almost impossible task of taking a story that people loved and really restructuring it, reinterpreting it, rewriting a decent amount of it, rephrasing that dialogue, and having to have that spirit and that story come through, intact. And I think they did such an amazing job that, yeah, for me, I would still give it to it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is interesting in that case as well, because it's like part of a series of remakes, but then you have this whole like multiverse time travel thing going on. So it is a sequel to the original as well. So it is like a new story. Um, and then yeah, I haven't played the other three, but Hellblade surprises me because one of the things that I kept hearing was so disappointing about it was that it was so short and the story had so little progression to it. Not, that's a secondhand thing. I don't have my own direct personal opinion on it, but it just seems like that's like very the opposite of everything I've heard about it.
Okay. All right. Best game direction. Awarding for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. You got Astrobot, Belatro, uh, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree, Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth, Metaphor, Refantazo.
So
Uh,
I voted for Black Myth on this one, but I'll be honest, with how few kind of landmark platformer games that we get these days, I honestly am expecting Astrobot to get this one.
yeah, seems like a category Astrobot probably will probably get.
It's a good category for a platformer to take.
Yeah. And also big surprise. I mean, a lot of people were just blown out of the water by Astrobot there of how great it was there. Nobody was really, I don't think, expecting much from it, and then it just became game of the year there.
I
Which we're
mean, the
gonna,
tech demo that it's a sequel to came free with the PS5, and just that as like a very short little free experience kind of blew people's minds already. So they're probably expecting something kind of along that line, but then it was so much more. So
yeah. And then you get the big one, game of the year. So you got Astrobot, you got Balatro, you got Black Myth Wukong, you got Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, Rifantazo. So, yeah. So you're saying this is the controversy there. DLC shouldn't be game of the year.
I mean, there's definitely a bit of an internet argument happening about it. Like what I'll say is that I get a certain argument for it because it is really big, right? It's a really big expansion. It's a 40-hour, 50-hour experience. It is like the size of its own game. Um, and so I understand why, like I do get the logic behind it, but at the end of the day, you still have to own Elden Ring first to access that. You can't just buy that and play it, right? You have to have the regular game first. You have to have made enough progress in it that you can go to this expansion because it is an expansion. It's only accessible inside of another game that already came out. And if you wanted to consider it as its own game, then they should have released it as its own game. So that I personally disagree with it being eligible. What I don't understand is why not just have like a DLC category? Like, oh, here, what's the best expansion
Yeah.
for a game that came out this year? Like, I think why not just have that as its own thing?
Yeah. I'm surprised they don't have a DLC expansion category there as its own thing. I don't know how much you could fill up with that category. But
I think there's quite a few things. I mean, like, every like World of Warcraft is going to have a big one probably most years. Final Fantasy 14, another MMO, that's going to
mm,
have big expansions. So that combined with Elden Ring, that's three big ones. I mean, it might be small, but throw the Alan Wake expansion in there. I guarantee there's enough expansions out there.
uh, Ulysses says if DLC is an option for game of the year, we're opening the floodgates. Are we going to nominate Legacy of Rust for Doom 2? It's a legacy. It's a lengthy expansion that came out this year for a 1995 game. There.
That's a good point. Like, how far are we taking it? Like, yeah, if Doom from '95 gets an expansion, is that eligible for Game of the Year? Like, I don't know. It seems like a weird thing to start doing.
Then you got people. So the response is here. You got Jeff Keighley tweeted out the game of the year nominees there. Then you have people say, "How is a DLC nominated for Game of the Year award?" This person says DLC should not be nominated for Game of the Year. DLC says expansions are a part of the game, not the full game itself. Some people mentioned Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth should have been nominated for Game of the Year.
I mean, yeah, why not over a DLC? I mean, I don't play the Yakuza games, but I know they're beloved. And I know a lot of people are into them, and I know they sell well. So I mean, that could have been in instead. Tales of Kinzara could have been in instead.
Silent
I
Hill
really
2. Yeah.
Silent Hill 2 didn't actually make the Game of the Year list. That could have been in instead. Uh, there's a ton of stuff this year that I feel like could have made its way in there. I mean, there's a ton of games I haven't even gotten around to playing yet, but Warhammer Space Marine 2 was also like mostly 9 out of 10s across the board. Um, the Prince of Persia game was like 9 out of 10 platform Metroidvania type game for at least a good chunk of the reviews. We had a new Legend of Zelda game just recently. I mean, Nintendo, usually those big Nintendo games do super well. Um, I mean, yeah, I feel like that's just that right there. That's quite a few things. And I don't really get, or, I didn't play it, and I know that there was a little controversy with some of the microtransaction stuff, but at the same time, Dragon's Dogma 2 still was reviewed really well. That also came out this year. Uh, I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of other stuff that could have had that spot.
Yeah. So you would take out Shadow of the Earth Tree, put in Silent Hill 2?
Personally, I definitely would. Yeah, that
And
would
would you
be
take
my
out
pick.
this as well? Balatro?
I can't say I would just because I still don't, I don't really know what the hell it is. Maybe it's amazing. Maybe that would be my favorite game if I played it. I genuinely just don't know what it is.
Yeah. Let me see. I think it's like a card game or something. So it's a mobile game. I guess.
Well, then I probably won't like it.
Okay.
We get another
Oh, interesting.
2 7s, 2 5s, and 2 2s now. Again, we can try to go for a full house. So we can get rid of the king and queen. Let's get rid of them. Notice how our discards will go to others. And now we're going up to the manacle here, which is going to be a -1 hand size.
That's what you do?
A little bit annoying. And contains.
I'm kind of just
four of a
skipping through
kind,
this,
which we
people.
don't
I'm just
have.
trying to
I
figure
mean,
out
we're
what
not going to see a four of a kind
exactly
anytime
you're
soon.
doing in this.
Spectral cards or tarot cards. Let's see what these spectral cards are. It's going to cost us $6.
Oh, weird.
It's like Magic the Gathering.
Jumbo spectral card.
Oh.
Okay.
What I'm understanding is that it's like incorporating like a bunch of different types of cards into a single game. So it's like you have a deck of playing cards, but then also there's like tarot cards you're mixing in with like the deck of playing cards. So I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but it looks like it might be an attempt to have like a card game that includes like just like every type of card at once. I'm not really sure I get it just yet, but
Okay. So it says here, this is Steam. So it's a poker inspired roguelike deck builder all about creating powerful synergies and winning big. Combine valid poker hands with unique joker cards in order to create a varied synergies and builds. Earn enough chips to beat devious blinds, all while uncovering hidden bonus hands and decks as you progress. You're going to need every edge you can get in order to reach the boss blind, beat the final ante, and secure victory. Okay. All
I'll
right.
tell you right now, it's definitely not for me.
Okay. Um, I don't know. Maybe I guess maybe you're on the train and you need something to do. You're on the bus, or
I'll bring a book, man.
you want to just kind of whip something out. It's like, oh shit, let me do this real quick. I guess you got that kind of going for you, maybe. So okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess you wouldn't take it out because you haven't played it yet. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to come down on it too much just out of a lack of knowledge, but yeah, I mean, looking at it, it doesn't seem very appealing to me personally.
okay. What about Stellar Blade? Would you put in Stellar Blade?
I don't think so, no.
I see some people mention Stellar Blade in the comments here in the replies. Some people bringing up that as
We're gonna
maybe
have a Stellar Blade Camel Toe Gate 2.0 controversy since it didn't get nominated?
Uh, maybe, yeah, because people were looking forward. It's like, well, I know the Game Awards is gonna nominate Black Myth Wukong or Stellar Blade, but they did nominate Black Myth Wukong, but they didn't nominate Stellar Blade. So they didn't do
Black Myth Wukong was way more interesting.
that. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people talking about that. For that one there, it's just mostly
They
that.
they don't they can't rest until they get the camel toe back in their life.
Yeah. So yeah, some people mentioned like we did Silent Hill 2. That was a big omission for a lot of people there.
At
Um,
least it did get nominated in a whole bunch of other categories that I feel like it's going to win at least some of those. I mean, it's like last year, Alan Wake 2 did not win Game of the Year, but it did win Best Narrative. It did win Best Art Direction. It did win Best Game Direction. So like, it still took a bunch of stuff home at the end of the night. So
yeah. So that was Game Awards there, December 12th. Will you be watching it?
yeah, I'll be watching it live. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care that much about award shows just in general. But I do tend to watch the Game Awards every year because they do have a lot of trailer reveals for like new stuff.
Okay.
So you usually at least get a few good big like reveals every year.
Yeah. So yeah, that's always something to look forward to the Game Awards for too as well. So yeah.
Hopefully they don't push people off stage after 30 seconds this time.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Tales of Kenzera's out. That premiered at the Game Awards last year, I think, right?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
So that
You
should
never
be
know what nice, fun surprise thing they might announce.
yeah. Yeah.